Guys, are you familiar with Xerjoff's Super Citruses Nio, Uden, and КОВЕ? This is Nio, this is Uden, and this is КОВЕ. I call them the Super Citruses from Xerjoff, and I've known about these fragrances since probably around 2014, maybe a little before then. And I actually did a first impressions video of when I bought the previous packaging of the fragrances in 2014 at an airport. Anyway, today I'm going to tell you about these three fragrances. That video is quite old, and let you know about these super citrus fragrances because summer is around the corner and they're going to be perfect. Well, one of them is going to be really perfect. A couple of them are a little on the heavier side. And also let you know that I do have samples giveaway, but we're not giving samples away of these three fragrances. We're giving samples of three of newest Xerjoff fragrances: Alexandria 3, Accento Overdose, and Golden Dalla, to 3 subscribers of this channel from the USA. This is a USA giveaway, guys. Plus, as we did in the ZGO video from a month ago, we do still have a 20% off discount if you do make any purchases of Xerjoff fragrances from ZGO, and that is extended till the end of June. Anyway, this is a lot of information. If you want to find out about the Xerjoff Super Citruses Nio, Uden, and КОВЕ, plus learn about the rest of the things I just told you about, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. That's right, today we're talking about Xerjoff Super Citruses, fragrances that have been around since 2009 from the house of Xerjoff, and I first got my nose on them around 2013, ended up buying my bottles around 2014. And I do have a first impressions video of those bottles that I had purchased from an airport in Stockholm, Sweden. Anyway, if you want to watch that video, you can just look for Xerjoff Nio on my channel. Those bottles are no longer, but I have new bottles here, and I'm going to tell you all about Nio, Uden, and КОВЕ, the super citruses from Xerjoff. But before we do that, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So before we move on with the fragrances, I just want to mention that ZGO still has the 20% off discount on Xerjoff fragrances and some of the other fragrances I discussed in that video. If you haven't caught that video, I have a link here. Go ahead and catch that video to watch some of the fragrances that are discounted at that store. ZGO is a San Francisco perfume shop, probably the premier destination for perfume shopping here in San Francisco. If you ever make it here, make sure to visit the store. And as I mentioned, they have now extended the 20% off discount till the end of June. So go check out some of the fragrances there, and actually you can use the discount, the 20% off discount on the fragrances I'm going to discuss with you today. The other thing is I am doing a giveaway thanks to the distributor of Xerjoff fragrances, and sadly they don't have samples of these three fragrances, but there are samples of the new releases from Xerjoff, and the distributor Euro Perfumes will be doing sponsoring a giveaway for 3 subscribers of this channel to win 3 samples of Alexandria 3, Accento Overdose, and Golden Dalla. So I'll tell you how to participate at the end of the video, but let's get started. Today we're going to first talk about the super citrus known as Nio, and probably known as one of the best bergamot fragrances. But to me, after I've worn this fragrance, I feel like it's a little more than just bergamot. In fact, some bergamot fragrances just stay bergamot. This develops into a lot more. All 3 of these fragrances were launched in 2009. Their EDP concentration, eau de parfum, and 50 ml bottles retail for $2.75. So with Nio, there's notes of Neroli, bergamot, green notes at the top. In the heart, you've got some spicy notes of nutmeg, cardamom, pink pepper, and jasmine. I feel like the jasmine is pretty prominent once the spicy notes are, gone. And this actually settles to a vetiver, Guaiac wood, cedar, and amber. So it's very interesting because that vetiver really complements that bergamot really, really wonderfully. And I feel like this is what makes this fragrance more than just being a bergamot fragrance. But it is a very, very green fragrance because it has greenish notes. And I'm assuming these greenish notes are probably leaves or things like ivy or just, maybe perhaps fig leaves or something. We don't really know what they are, but those are the kind of notes it kind of smells like to me. and then it really complements wonderfully with the bergamot. Of course, it's very green at the top, and bergamot is a citrus, but it's green, greenish. So you have a very green start to the top, and there is a little floral aspect to it as well. And this is a very, very juicy start. I love this part about it, and it gets really spicy while you're experiencing the heart, but jasmine is pretty prominent as well here. But as I said, the fragrance settles to a woody experience. That's why this is considered a woody spicy fragrance, even though it's a citrus. It's a woody citrus, but I think it's very spicy, so I would go with a woody spicy experience. But vetiver and Guaiac wood is what it settles to, and there's some light hints of amber here. So in the end, this is mostly about bergamot, it's mostly about neroli. Those two really work wonderfully together, and the green notes are pretty prominent as well. And so it's mostly about what happens in the top, but then vetiver is another one of the main players, and it's about vetiver when it settles. So that's Nio. This is a very, very loved fragrance. I know in the fragrance community people talk a lot about this one, and I feel it's great for summer. I think it's going to be perfect for summer, and I feel like this is also a very, very perfect fragrance for warm days. It comes alive in humid weather. And I wore this when I visited Xerjoff in Turin. It was really hot and humid there, and I wore it at the store. I didn't have a bottle with me then, and I wore it out, and it was actually really, really a wonderful experience in the humid heat. Anyway, this is Xerjoff Nio. Check that out if you don't know it yet. If you're looking for a bergamot fragrance with a little more kick to it, that's definitely going to satisfy. Now, before we move on, I also want to ask you, if you're interested in a full review of Nio, please do let me know. Put a comment down so that I know, so I can prep a full review in the future sometime, maybe when it gets closer to the summer weather. Now, the next one I was going to talk to you about is Xerjoff КОВЕ. Originally I was going to talk to you about Uden, and I feel like Uden is probably the strongest or the more intense of the three citruses, so I'm going to go with КОВЕ. And КОВЕ is one that I reviewed recently as well. And it's all about neroli and petitgrain. It's very bitter, but it's very floral. Again, it's the same price, $2.75 for a 50 ml. It's EDP Eau de Parfum concentration. This one's considered a citrus aromatic fragrance. Now with this one, you have at the top orange, bergamot, labdanum. So it's got an ambery start right away, and you experience that. It's like, it's an amped up neroli fragrance, like an amped up eau de cologne style fragrance, you know, like 4711 neroli Portofino and things like that. So in the heart, there's the petitgrain, and the neroli comes in as well. And then there's orange blossom. So here in the heart, it's basically taking the flowers of the orange tree, and you're adding the bitter green leaves of the orange tree, and you have this like concentrated experience at the heart. In the top, as I said, it does have a very citrusy start because you have that orange and bergamot with the labdanum. But in the base, it's when this fragrance comes alive, and this is what it's known for as far as this fragrance goes. It's the orange blossom, the neroli, and the petitgrain. Those are basically the main players of this fragrance. And you gotta love orange blossom and neroli. And neroli and orange blossom, they're all from the same flower. They're just different ways of distilling and creating the notes. So, in the end, you're smelling the same flower, but they're different ways of extracting the actual juice from the flowers. So in the base you have this Brazilian rosewood, and then there's also oud. So it does settle to a more denser experience. I feel like the notes in the base are pretty prominent, and I feel like the whole thing works really heavy. And if you like neroli but you don't like it intense, you might not dig this one. But if you want a more concentrated neroli or eau de cologne kind of experience, and when I'm saying eau de cologne, it's those fragrances like 4711 where you know that familiar smell of like a cologne, a splash cologne. This is not a splash cologne. This is a very concentrated version of that style of fragrance. And the other thing is it has this very dusty quality. So in the base you have lots of dense notes, and these are basically perfect base notes. You've got the rosewood, you've got the oud, you've got benzoin. This is an actual resin, sweetens things up. Then there's tonka beans, there's ambergris, and there's styrax and musk. So those are all happening here. But again, for me, it's mostly about the heart notes. It's the orange blossom, the neroli, and the petitgrain, and that's basically throughout the whole entire life. Now you experience the other notes. It's very ambery because you have labdanum at the top and you have amber in the base. So it's just a very ambery experience. So imagine what you're experiencing in the heart with lots of amber. So basically a wonderful release. It's citrus aromatic. I love this one. It's one of my favorites. It's intense. Now this one I would actually advise you to wear probably in the spring and fall. I feel like this is perfect in those seasons. And if you have cool days in the summer, then also, I mean, you can also control your sprays in the summertime and not overspray. But I feel like if you like spray a lot in the summertime and it's really hot and humid, it might be a little too heavy. Anyway, that is КОВЕ. So this is a wonderful super citrus from Xerjoff. And the last one I'm going to talk to you about is Uden. This is probably my favorite of the three. I love all three of them, don't get me wrong. But if I had to pick, this one wins it for me from the three. And the reason why I like this one the most, because it's kind of going in the gourmand direction. I love gourmands, you know that. So this is considered an aromatic spicy fragrance. This is launched in 2009, just like the other two fragrances. Same price, 50 ml bottle for $2.75, EDP Eau de Parfum concentration. Now this one actually starts very citrusy, then it settles to a more gourmand, like Oriental experience. Even though it's called an aromatic spicy, I feel like this is definitely going into the Oriental direction with all the notes that's in here. Because here you've got grapefruit, citruses, and lemons at the top, and this is what starts the fragrance, but it doesn't last too long. Even though you can get hints of it throughout the lifetime of the fragrance, it's not very long-lived. But here in the heart, you've got some Guaiac wood. Guaiac wood is a very creamy wood. This woody note kind of sometimes goes into a vanillic direction to me as well. But here you also have some rum, rose, and sandalwood. Sandalwood, Guaiac wood, they're both creamy, so it has a very creamy experience. The rose is not too prominent, but the rum is. So you have these woody qualities in the heart with the rum. In the base, it settles to coffee, vanilla, musk. There's a little bit of an ambergris for a salty, slightly animalic touch, but not quite overly animalic. But in the end, this one is really, really wonderful. I love it. It's warm and spicy, and I love those warm and spicy fragrances. And to me, even though it's a citrus, when you smell it, it settles to more of a very creamy, kind of a woody, vanillic, boozy experience in the end. So if I had to pick my favorite, again, this is it. But this is more for me like a fall, winter kind of fragrance when I want a little citrus touch, but I don't want it to be like a freshie like Nio. So I would go with something like this when it's cooler outside. But then again, you know, it's what I feel like. I don't have a rule about wearing a specific fragrance in a different season. I'm just giving you guys some of those types of rules that people apply to fragrances. But I would wear Nio in the winter and I would wear this in the summer. I just would have to kind of like control my sprays. I would overspray Nio in the winter time and keep my sprays to a minimum with Uden in the summertime. And there you have it. Those are the super citruses from Xerjoff. It's Nio, it's КОВЕ, and it's Uden. I feel like these are definitely very popular fragrances from this house, and I wanted to let you guys know about them again. If you don't know them, definitely check them out. Again, these are citruses, but they go in different directions, with Nio being the most appropriate for summertime wear when it's really hot. But again, there's no rules, as I said. Just, you know, if you get one that's a little stronger than the other, one of the three, control your sprays if it's really warm outside and vice versa. So, for the giveaway that we have Alexandria 3, Accento Overdose, and Golden Dalla. I've smelled Accento Overdose, it's amazing. I've actually smelled all three of these and they're wonderful, wonderful, wonderful fragrances. Really, really great. Again, this is one of my favorite houses. I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to tell you now, and you guys probably know. And I've got a lot of videos on the channel about Xerjoff if you're curious to learn more about the house, and also see videos with Sergio Momo, and then as well, I have a tour of their boutique in Turin, Italy. You can catch that as well. But if you want to participate in the giveaway, let me know which of the three fragrances I discussed today, not the ones that you're going to win as a sample, but the three fragrances, the super citruses, which one would be your favorite, and then please also put your state down. And then make sure you're subscribed to the channel and like this video, and I'll qualify you. And then you'll get a chance to win Alexandria 3, Accento Overdose, and Golden Dalla samples. So 3 winners will win these 3 samples, and these will be shipped by the distributor, the USA distributor of Xerjoff, to 3 winners and subscribers of this channel. And don't forget, there is that discount code, as I said, for XGO Perfumery. Again, if you don't know XGO Perfumery, they are probably, if not the definite premier perfume shop in San Francisco. If you come to San Francisco once this pandemic is over, you should definitely visit a XGO Perfumery, as they have a huge collection of perfumes, and that 20% off discount right now would apply to fragrances that you would purchase, like the Xerjofs that I'm speaking about today. And also, just remember, I have that video of the top 5 fragrances or fragrance brands from XGO. You can catch that to see what else is available at their store to purchase. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching today. Good luck with the giveaway. If you have any questions or comments with anything I discussed today, please put it down. Let me know, do you enjoy these super citruses from Xerjoff? Are you a fan of this house? And let me know if I should check out any other Xerjoff fragrances. I mean, I know a lot of their fragrances, but they have such a vast catalog. I haven't smelled every single one of them, even after visiting their boutique twice in a few days while I was in tour in Italy. I still haven't smelled everything. So thanks so much for watching today. Please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.